I'm naturopath and nutritionist Sheridan Genrich, and I want to congratulate you on joining us for this program. As they say, knowledge is power, and if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. So for this month's nutrition topic, we're talking about healthy food swaps and holiday eating. But please bear in mind, this information is purely educational for the group as a whole and is not designed to replace the needs of your primary healthcare professional. By far and away, the most influential lifestyle choice that we make regarding our overall health and the control that we make in our lives is around our food choices. So on with our discussion today for healthy food swaps while on holidays. But firstly, I want you to understand that many supposedly good for us supermarket foods, they're marketed as healthy, but they're full of not so good ingredient add-ons like salt, sugar, and bad fats. So how do you sort through the nutrition hype on all these packaged foods and treats to find the healthy gems? When checking out nutrition labels on packaged products, you need to follow these 3 rules. Number 1, read carefully. Number 2, read carefully. And number 3, read carefully. Read the ingredient list well. Before loading up your trolley or choosing a takeaway food or something, read up on why these 6 top foods may be not as healthy an option as you really think. Then you swap them out with the suggested alternatives that I have listed in your summary. So at number 1, the supposedly good food there is whole grain cereals. So in our quest for improved health or starting off with the day well, no doubt you've searched the cereal aisles for whole grain choices. But whole grain cereals, the ones with maybe a prominent whole grain stamp or a healthy heart tick on front of the package, are not always such a good deal. During the processing, they lose some of their vital ingredients that are part of the plant and the whole grain, and often a good deal of its healthy fiber. So when looking at the nutrition fact panel, you'll actually see that there's far less fiber. So the tip here is to check out the nutrition label and look at the fiber content. Preferably you want at least 5 grams per serving. And don't forget to look at the sugar content as well, or the sodium. And sugar content you want between 3 to 4 grams per serving is plenty. So a healthy food swap here would be something like 100% whole grains. So a better way to start the day might be something like rolled oats, quinoa flakes, millet porridge, buckwheat, or even cooked barley. Now you'll get 4 to 8 grams of fiber and no added sugars in these whole grain cereals. So they're different from just a whole grain product. It's a whole grain as it is in nature. There's nothing else added. And while whole grains contain many beneficial nutrients, ones that are rich in fiber are especially good choices. And studies show that these fiber-rich diets can help lower blood pressure, control blood sugar, and lower bad or LDL cholesterol. So a 2004 study at the University of Minnesota suggests that for every 10 grams of fiber you eat, you lower the risk of heart disease and coronary heart disease by 14%. Some whole grains like brown rice, they don't have a lot of fiber, but you get a lot of good nutrients, especially B vitamins. But not many of us eat brown rice for breakfast. So baking, an ideal swap would be for wheat flour to try and substitute it with something like almond meal or coconut flour. I found almond meal to be a great substitute for something like veal schnitzel or chicken strips, that you coat and then put in the oven. They taste really good. Number 2 on our supposedly good list that we want to try and swap out is maybe reduced fat or any other type of peanut butter. Now, it may only have 4 grams or so of fat per serving, which is lower than regular peanut butter, but they usually have more sugar added as one of the first ingredients. So next on the list may be something like soy protein. They might have some salt, fully hydrogenized vegetable oils, and molasses or other types of sugars sometimes added. And you're noticing a theme here. Yes, reduced fat spreads in general, they save on the fat, but at an unhealthy cost. And you're getting extra sugars and unwanted hydrogenated oils, which are the bad oils. And so it's important to also know that peanuts are actually legumes. They're not nuts, and they are susceptible to mold, a type of mold called aflatoxin, which is a potential carcinogen. So it's something I don't really recommend peanut butter. I think there's better nuts out there, and it's not even a nut. So a healthy swap here, I would recommend trying some almond butter or cashew butter or Brazil. There's an ABC spread out there that's actually really tasty. Preferably brands that just have these nuts and maybe a little salt or some oil in it and nothing else. Studies show that people that are eating a moderate amount of nuts or seeds that are rich in heart-healthy monounsaturated fats are less likely to develop type 2 diabetes and heart disease. And the tiny amounts of saturated fats that they contain, well, it's not to worry about it. The presence of saturated fat doesn't automatically kick a food such as peanut butter into the unhealthy camp. It's the whole package of the nutrients and what you eat over an entire day that really matters. So one food isn't necessarily going to be at the end of the saturated fat dilemma. It's obviously an accumulation. And okay, number 3, and a supposedly good list, we have low-fat muffins. Now, needing fewer calories as we age is a reality, and one of the quickest ways to slash your calories content, maybe you're thinking to opt for low-fat bakery foods when your sweet tooth strikes. The problem is that low-fat foods, muffins included, aren't making us healthy or promoting weight loss. In fact, scientists are discovering that when you replace the calories and the amount of hydrogenated fats in these treats, they increase the sugar content. And so a reduced fat blueberry muffin might only have 410 calories, maybe 75 grams of carbohydrates, and 10 teaspoons of sugar. But that's more sugar than in a regular blueberry muffin. So you're not actually getting some benefit there because the sugar in itself is quite dangerous. And unfortunately, many well-motivated people may have been led to believe that all fats are bad and the foods loaded with white flour and sugar are healthy choices, but this is not so. So my healthy swap here would be to try and avoid those processed starchy carbohydrates at all costs. Opt for something like a fresh cherry or berry snack, and obviously having availability of these delicious fruits at this time of year is a benefit. So most berries have a very low impact on our blood sugar. They're full of vitamins, they reduce inflammation and contain good amounts of natural fiber that make us feel full. So if we're out shopping and we see, a fruit shop, opt for those berries. They're delicious, and you could mix them with something like natural full-fat yogurt, nuts, flax seeds or chia seeds for an energizing, healthy snack. And the benefits of cherries, for instance, we've covered this before, but really high in antioxidants that fight the free radical damage and protect our cells. They also can remove excess body fat and increase melatonin, which helps support your sleep cycle. So number 4 on our list, supposedly good oven-baked fries or mashed potato. Now, while seeming to be healthy and having less oil than regular fries, white potatoes are one of the highest glycemic index foods. So the glycemic index is a measure of how quickly our body digests carbohydrates, and this gives you an idea of how quickly your blood sugar is rising. So my healthy swap recommendation here is sweet potato or cauliflower mash. Sweet potatoes are much lower on the glycemic index than regular potatoes. They're also packed with potassium, vitamin A, vitamin C, and B6, which supports energy. So oven-baked sweet potato chips are very tasty and healthier. And for an even lower blood sugar impact, try some pureed cauliflower and or with a little bit of coconut or some milk, and you mash it together. So either vegetable can make a delicious, healthy choice when compared to mashed potato. And if you do have mashed potato or white potatoes, then the best way to have them is to have them cooled after roasting. So roast white potatoes, let them cool, and they're higher in resistant starch, which is a good type of fiber. So number 5, we have supposedly good wheat-based pasta. So pasta, although it's tasty with the right sauce and the other ingredients, it can be a very addictive delivery system for empty carbohydrates. And even many gluten-free alternatives are like this. So wheat has many components in it that increase inflammation, and the most common food intolerant ingredient in our world today. So negative reactions to this can be delayed after a while from eating. So it's not an immediate impact you see within an hour or two. It could be days later, and it may not be digestive issues. So my healthy food swap here is something like spaghetti squash, quinoa pasta, or zoodles. Now I'll cover what they are in a minute. Spaghetti squash and zucchini noodles are very rich in fiber and nutrients compared to regular wheat or even many gluten-free pastas. So quinoa pasta is one of the better gluten-free choices, and zucchini noodles are very easy to do if you've got a little tool that spiralizes the zucchini, and you put the zucchini in and it just comes out like spaghetti, and it's actually really tasty and surprisingly able to mix with a lot of good sauces. And number 6 on our supposedly good list is nutritional drinks in a can. So these drinks are used in hospitals, and they're there to help the debilitated with cancer or other types of illnesses. Today, however, the manufacturers of these products are pitching widely to seniors and people in chemists and anyone interested in health. They're sold in supermarkets as well, and products like Ensure now come in all types of varieties labeled as nutrition shakes. Nestle's Boost nutrition drinks are aimed at anyone that can get wanting to get proper nutrients in their diet. But are these drinks any good for the average person? Not at all. So an associate professor of clinical medicine at a US medical center in the geriatric division suggests that many people equate these drinks as a replacement for meals, but it's not right at all. Even for someone having trouble eating or keeping weight on, there are better ways, and food is always going to be the first option. These products often have a lot of pure sugars like glucose and denatured proteins, refined soy, and other types of ingredients that are not very healthy at all. So my recommended healthy food swap here would be real food or a drink. So a glass of sparkling mineral water with lemon, lime, or mint. Some A2 milk, almond milk or coconut milk is great. And a cool chocolate smoothie that's been better quality changed. A purified water is also great. And a snack, like something like a boiled egg, veggie sticks. Red capsicum can be really sweet to snack on, I found as well. Or some lean meat or kidney beans or other types of protein sources that come simply and full of vitamins and minerals with none of the sugars and additives. Or if you have to add something, add a sauce to those types of things, and you're going to be getting far better quality nourishment than in those cans. and supplement type of drinks. The best things to do with mindful eating, just a couple of these little tips. So chew slowly, give yourself time to process and enjoy, and really just concentrate. Some people have to count while chewing. They make sure you're sitting down to eat. It is far better for your digestion. Breathe between bites and pause to enjoy the moment, and maybe talk with friends or family in between having your meals. So enjoy each moment, be thankful for the smallest things, and things will be a better way to look at it no matter what is happening in your life. There's always a perspective to take that is positive. So thank you so much for listening, and until next time, be well, and wishing you all the very best of health and happiness.